This week on Ask Brother Casey, our question comes from Vinny Kosman, who wants to know, are you allowed to have pets in the order? It may seem like a simple question, but it's actually quite complicated. In one sense, this is a very simple question to answer. Are we allowed to have pets? Yes. There's nothing in our church or in our order that prevents us from having them. But pets can be kind of tricky. Think about it this way. One of the best things about our lives is that we don't have dependents. We can love and serve as freely as that day calls for. Now, if we add a pet to that mix and we add a dependent, something that needs to be taken care of and fed and walked, and it becomes a problem because then we have to choose between the dog and the people of God sometimes. We don't want to do that. You say, well, what about a larger community? If you have many friars in a house, well, you can share the responsibility. And that's true. But it presents another problem in that having a pet is kind of like adding a new member to the community. It has its own personality and its own needs. Everyone has to be on board, and so if they're not on board, it can be kind of divisive. Sometimes you find, especially in families you see this, a lot of attention on the dog, a lot of attention on the cat, and not a whole lot of attention talking with one another. In a friary where we have such little time, quality time to spend with each other each day, this can be a problem, and we don't want to inhibit our conversations and our fraternity because we're worried about what funny thing the dog's doing. Don't get me wrong, I love dogs, and I would love to have one. And I think in some cases it works out really well. There's a case, one of our friaries has a dog, and what they do is they use it as a form of evangelization. They walk the dog every day, and they wear their habits. And so people see them out in the neighborhood, and they can stop and have conversations. This is a great thing. For other communities, it's a way to bond around a common focus. A lot of friars go out to many different ministries, and they don't work together. But if they work together to take care of an animal, it's another layer of that community. So, are we allowed to have pets in our friaries? Yes. Should we? Well, that's kind of a complicated question. For me, I find it to be difficulty and to be a distraction. But it can definitely work. Do you have a question you'd like me to answer here on Ask Brother Casey? Leave it in the comments. Each week I answer one question submitted by you. Also, be sure to check out the blog at breakinginthehabit.org. And also, follow me on Facebook, Casey Cole OFM.